Chinese scientists create 100% lethal coronavirus, igniting biosafety fears. Suzhou streets overrun by wild monkeys. Shocking videos stir delight and concern. China cracks down on churches, Christians detained amid escalating suppression. Xi's purge. Top nuclear firm, CNPC linked to corruption in rocket force investigations. U.S. strikes expose China's missile vulnerabilities. Chinese scientists create 100% lethal coronavirus, igniting biosafety fears. Chinese scientists recently published a preprint reporting their creation of a new mutant coronavirus strain called GXP2V that killed 100% of infected mice within 8 days. The study aimed to model animal-to-human transmission risks, but is stirring biosafety concerns. Published January 4th on the non-peer-reviewed site bioRxiv, the paper details how researchers introduced key Omicron mutations into the original Wuhan virus. This produced a highly lethal strain exceeding Omicron's morbidity. The scientists suggest their approach enables studying emerging coronavirus threats. However, scientists internationally criticize such gain-of-function experiments as unnecessarily hazardous. Epidemiologist François Balloux of University College London called the study scary and pointless on Twitter, questioning any scientific or public health benefit relative to the risks. Similarly, Vilnius University virologist Gaidas Dudas told Healthline News that while such research aids understanding viral mutations, accidental exposures during experiments remain a real danger requiring stringent safeguards. Controversially, the study follows a 2017 experiment at Boston University that created a hybrid COVID strain, killing 80% of infected mice. High public backlash ultimately forced its termination over biosafety and bioterrorism issues. With a 100% mortality rate, the new Chinese data provokes similar intense scrutiny regarding pandemic preparedness versus potentially enabling biological threats. The preprint publication status means the virus research has not undergone formal peer review nor appeared in a scientific journal, but its alarming findings have captured public attention amid the fraught debate over COVID-19's origins. Some theorize COVID originated from a lab leak at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which conducts extensive coronavirus studies on bats. Chinese authorities vehemently deny this, backing zoonotic transmission from animals to humans. Suzhou streets overrun by wild monkeys. Shocking videos stir delight and concern. Videos circulating online show large troops of monkeys roaming the streets of Suzhou, sparking both delight and concern among netizens. The monkeys were spotted crossing roads, climbing high-rise buildings, and dragging their families to play in public spaces. While some found humor in the monkeys celebrating the Laba Festival, others worried about potential harm to residents. The monkeys are identified as macaques, a national second-level protected species. They originate from the nearby Fangfangshan National Forest Park, located in Taihu Lake Scenic Area, home to dense forests and 95% forest coverage. Park staff confirmed the monkeys are wild macaques not owned by the park. Upon learning of the monkeys' escape, the park reported the incident to higher authorities. Park staff warn macaques can be aggressive and patrol the park daily to guard tourist safety. Broadcasts and posted notices advise visitors to avoid feeding or provoking the monkeys to prevent injury. However, with monkeys roaming beyond park grounds, handling now falls under local forestry department wildlife regulations. The Suzhou Gardening and Greening Administration Bureau explains Suzhou's ecologically rich environment enables rapid macaque reproduction. With macaques protected nationally, authorities have limited measures, restricted to providing guidance. This includes patrols along affected roads and public advisories against feeding. The reason for the exceptionally large monkey migration remains unclear. Fangfangshan Park had never encountered such massive numbers of macaques traveling simultaneously. To ensure safety, the park urges the public to avoid approaching, feeding, or teasing any encountered macaques. Maintaining safe distance is advised. Though delighting some netizens, the monkeys raise public safety concerns. Authorities are responding with patrols and advisories, but cannot actively combat the protected species. With the reason behind the exceptional migration unclear, the public is urged to keep safe distance from the monkeys. Viral videos spotlight a delicate balance as Suzhou grapples with a monkey population boom enabled by the city's lush ecology, which authorities and residents alike seek to preserve. This event highlights deeper complexities in human-wildlife coexistence within rapidly developing Chinese cities. China cracks down on churches, Christians detained amid escalating suppression. The Chinese Communist Party authorities continue to escalate their suppression of unofficial religious activities. According to news released by China Aid, a U.S.-based religious rights organization, on January 20th, Christians from the Maizhong Reformed Church in Fuyang, Anhui Province, including Daichuanli, Wangdandan, and Ma Jiahui, led the children of Christian families in the church to sing hymns last Thursday. While praying, police officers from the Economic and Technological Development Zone branch of the Fuyang Municipal Public Security Bureau rushed in and took him away. The three men were subsequently searched at their homes by the police, and each was sentenced to 15 days of administrative detention. According to reports, the Fuyang Maizhong Reformed Church is a Reformed house church in Fuyang City, Anhui Province. The person in charge of the church insists on the position of a house church and publicly refuses to join the official Three Self Church. He also participated in the 2018 initiative by Pastor Wang Yi. Pastors sign a statement of Christian faith. Signing event. As the authorities escalated their crackdown on house churches in various places, the Fuyang Maizhong Reformed Church maintained a low profile and struggled to hold gatherings until it was banned by the government. This is also the third time that Christians from this church have been detained by the police since September last year. In addition, since the case of Chang Hao, a rural preacher in Zhenjiang County, Yunnan Province, who was accused of picking quarrels and provoking trouble, was brought to court on November 7th, last year, attorney Yuan Mao, as the defender, has not been able to copy the case file materials. Xi's purge. Top nuclear firm, CNNC linked to corruption in rocket force investigations. Key members of China National Nuclear Corporation, CNNC, continue to be investigated for corruption. CNNC is China's leading nuclear industry company with ties to the Rocket Force Engineering University, a top institution training rocket force officers. Mass purges of the rocket force top brass have occurred amid a military anti-corruption campaign targeting perceived disloyalty to Chinese Communist Party leader Xi Jinping. Recent examples include the disciplinary investigations of CNNC Shanxi Uranium Enrichment's former chairman Zheng Hongliang and CNNC Environmental Protection's former chairman Wu Xiujiang. CNNC Shanxi produces nuclear fuel, while CNNC Environmental handles nuclear waste disposal from China's atomic weapons program. As China's dominant nuclear firm with oversight from Communist Party central authorities, CNNC has a sprawling business empire covering the entire nuclear technology supply chain. A 2023 inspection found over 200 violations across CNNC's construction, power plant, research, and other units. Violations encompassed contract fraud, cronyism, and more, which were handed to discipline inspectors. CNNC maintains ties with the Rocket Force Engineering University, which trains rocket force technical officers. Both signed a 2019 cooperation agreement on personnel training, technology exchange, demonstration projects, and other areas. The Rocket Force controls China's nuclear missiles and conventional ballistic missiles as the military's ace force, but Xi has purged much of the Rocket Force leadership in an anti-corruption campaign targeting disloyalty. At least 5 sacked military representatives to China's legislature came from the Rocket Force, including 2 former commanders. Observers believe corruption allegations provide cover to eliminate dissent and shore up Xi's control. With many in the military opposing Xi's policies or personal authority, he established dominance through purges. The degree of military corruption also enables selective prosecution of Xi's political targets. U.S. intelligence assesses corruption has degraded Chinese military readiness, especially in the rocket force. Missile units have seen absent fuel, ineffective missile silo hatches, and more lapses. This led U.S. officials to doubt China would risk major conflict in coming years. Some believe Xi fears ancient prophecies about Communist Party demise, catalyzing rocket force purges to prevent his downfall. Xi allegedly believes the prophecy is warn he could be assassinated amid domestic turmoil. His paranoia has led to surrounding himself with loyal advisors against perceived threats. As corruption investigations expand, the scale of disloyalty and instability remains unseen. U.S. strikes expose China's missile vulnerabilities. The anti-ship missiles used by Yemen's Houthi rebels are variants of China's YJ-83, exported as the C-802. The CCP's warships still deploy YJ-83s, while Iran copied and transferred C-802s to the Houthis. Despite most missiles being intercepted by the U.S., the unsuccessful Houthi attacks exposed shortcomings in China's missiles. This spurred a series of U.S. military strikes in January targeting Houthi radars, launch sites, and readied missiles to curb maritime threats. The campaign likely aimed to signal U.S. capabilities and intent to China as well. Tactics showed how the U.S. could prosecute an opening salvo in a Western Pacific conflict. The January 11th raid saw over 150 U.S. and British precision munitions strike 60 Houthi targets. U.S. subs and Aegis ships fired cruise missiles taking out radars before carrier jets struck facilities. This suggests methodical intelligence preparation and authorization within U.S. Central Command to enable immediate action. Deceptive moves like the USS Ford exiting the Mediterranean may have lowered Houthi vigilance as well. Follow-on strikes over days targeted Houthi radars and missiles prepared for launch, including 14 anti-ship missiles. The goal was degrading Houthi detection and strike capacities to reduce shipping threats. But U.S. carriers also loitered in Philippine waters during Taiwan's election, keeping tabs on China with planes capable of countering Chinese jets. The unused U.S. capabilities against the Houthis preview what weapons could debut against China. Tomahawks from modified Ohio SSGNs, able to salvo 154 cruise missiles. A piece would be fired first. Then scores more Tomahawks from 7th Fleet subs and Aegis ships could knock out coastal radars, missile bases, airfields, and ports. Carrier jets would follow using long-range anti-ship and land attack missiles against PLA Navy ships and infrastructure. The Air Force's stealth jets would establish air dominance as bombers from Guam deliver more standoff firepower. B-2 sorties from the U.S. mainland could penetrate further inland to strike key missile bases with special munitions. So while unproven Chinese missiles now resemble unsuccessful Russian weapons against Ukraine, U.S. capabilities are battle-ready. China's indigenous anti-ship missiles equipping its naval vessels remain highly suspect as well. The U.S. can detect missile transport and launch activity through persistent surveillance, intercepting them. China's missile corps is also enduring intense leadership purges, degrading readiness while bases are exposed. Even China's strategic support forces overseeing key satellites may be compromised amid senior officer investigations. In aggregate, the PLA's ability to withstand combat attrition remains doubtful. By contrast, the U.S. continues expanding its precision strike capacities and space warfare tools. So beyond immediate shipping security, U.S. strikes in the Red Sea serve to signal how a Western Pacific fight could unfold with China clearly overmatched. The CCP's unwillingness to even condemn Houthi aggression, despite enabling it, highlights China's continued reticence about direct confrontation.